So last year, after being assaulted by persons who feel the need to identify themselves as a legal fiction, SAANICH Police, engagement was made with the BC Complaints Commission. So there was a call the first week of March that lasted over an hour. That was not recorded. Within days of that call, there is criminal harassment happening. Now, during that first call, it was very lengthy, going into what was going on, trying to explain the gravity of the situation and how serious the situation is, because no woman should be made to feel in fear for her life all day, every day. The public servant asked for, the links to the live Instagram from August as to obviously what took place outside Jack and I's home and land, but then the result, which was the next day, having to go over, pay $400 that I didn't have to get a look at the completely destroyed private property. So that information was sent over as requested, obviously, within hours of the conversation ending. And yet there's a call in the middle of April from this same public servant. And as we listen to this, it becomes obvious that this individual has not bothered to watch the footage. Because if they had watched the footage, they wouldn't be asking these questions. So it doesn't really seem like these public servants are taking this seriously at all. But we'll listen. And then we're going to go in, as there was an error during the last upload, accidentally recording the wrong 20 seconds of Nick Murray being at the door last night to criminally harass and torture and terrorize and terrify, uttering threats. There's an unendorsed warrant. Come to the door, I need to speak to you. I can hear you in there. What?
Hi, Lauren. How are you doing? Yes,
Hi.
it's Victoria.
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Completely depleted.
I'm sorry to hear that. So I was just reviewing my notes from our conversation last time, and I just wanted to ask a quick follow-up question, because I know that we primarily focused on the interaction that you had with your vehicle and the police, but I wanted to touch on September 7th, because I know that you said that 2 officers attended your home, they pound on your door, and they ultimately give you 2 Motor Vehicle Act tickets. And I know that you said that you felt mocked in the course of that interaction, so I was just hoping to get you to provide, what language exactly, did they use? What did they say to you?
Okay, just let me process what you just said. Just give me a second, because that intimidation tactic was literally within, I think, 24 to 48 hours after the August the 29th interaction. So it wasn't in September. That would have been they did that to me
Oh,
like right away. Like that was
okay.
part of the. You know,
Okay.
they're trying to deny and deflect and distract from what they're doing, from the crimes that they've committed. So in order to do that, that was exactly why they were lying in wait on August the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
And they're lying in wait with the SWAT team.
Mm-hmm.
And so then this Nick Murray is an unsafe individual. This individual is not right in the head. And he always shows up with, there's like 3 of them. They like travel in a pack, like a pack of wolves. So I was still reeling because I've been kidnapped, I've been unlawfully confined, there's no water, there's no proper nutritional food. I don't eat McDonald's. I don't believe anybody should be eating McDonald's. It's not going to do you any good, especially in a situation like that when you're so traumatized. I keep asking for a sergeant. None of the sergeants will come and speak to me. They know what they're doing. They know they're committing crime. And so, in Canada here, the criminal has the right to remain silent, so that's what they're choosing to do. So it was literally it was less than 48 hours after I had been released that Nick Murray shows up here. And there was a lady who used to work at the front desk here, and she came to the door, and she's like, "They're coming again." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, like they're in the building, and they're coming for you again." And so she was standing at the door when Nick Murray and a couple of his pals, a couple of sharks, showed up at the door. And Nick Murray is like, "Well, I need to talk to you." And I said, "Well, let me get my phone and, I'll record this." He's like, "No, you don't need to do that." And he's got the ticket, the citation. It's a form of punishment, basically. And I'm not going to take it. Like, no, I don't consent to what you're doing. You're committing a crime. I'm not going to help you commit a crime. I'm not taking the ticket. So he threw it at me. Like, he threw it.
Mm-hmm.
Threw it, and then they take off.
Okay.
And so that was, it's still August when that happens. Like, that's not like a week later, or that's like,
sure,
to let me know, right, that the fact that you keep saying something about your home being stolen and you trying to stop those crimes that are occurring, that we won't stop. And so now we've left that up to you to do. And because you went and tried to do it, this is retaliation, basically. We're going to let you know, right, that if you keep saying something, well, we're going to send the SWAT team out repeatedly to destroy property and to intimidate you and to torture you. And I tell you, any little noise now, and I am like on the ceiling. Like the damage that's been done, you can't undo it. Like you can't, there's no amount of talking or money or, comfort that anybody could give me now to stop the fact that every time I hear a little noise, I am on the ceiling. Like I'm sick to my stomach. I feel nauseous. Because is that them again? Like, are they here again to do the same thing that they've done before? Because if they've done it once and they've done it twice, you can be guaranteed that, at some point, if I don't shut my mouth about what's going on, because homes are being stolen routinely now in Canada and Australia and the UK and the USA, people are losing our homes. This is just commonplace. And if you say something, well, this is the reward that you get. They're going to destroy some more property and steal some more property. So I can't help them commit crime against me. Like if I do anything, if I don't object, then I'm consenting to what they're doing, which is why, I don't know if you watched the entire interaction. As soon as I rolled up in front of my home, I was surrounded. It was immediate, because when I came around the cul-de-sac, there's Mike Walsh sitting there waiting. So they had premeditated to be there. So that's there's 5 elements to a crime. Like, number 1 is you have to have premeditated. And then if she's not going to get out, because she can't, those are not lawful orders. They're barking unlawful orders. I'm fully aware of what they're there to do. They're there to rob me of the last thing I have left.
Right.
So I can't go to food banks or can't travel safely or comfortably anymore. Like, that's why they're there. So I spend a half an hour trying to talk them down. I'm trying to talk to you're violating rights here. I mean, did you not take an oath to uphold the Canadian? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they don't take an oath. I don't know. I thought that they were supposed to uphold the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Section 7, Section 12, like no cruel and unusual treatment. Like you don't go around retaliating a victim of crime. That outrageous. And I said something, like every time I've been robbed, I have gone to the Victoria Police Department and the SAANICH Police Department, and every time I've been told, well, they lie, they gaslight, they're like, well, that's a civil matter, when it isn't a civil matter, or they just flat out refuse service and protection. So that leaves me, then I have to do their job, like I'm not going to be robbed and not do something about it, then I'm aiding and abetting. I'm going to aid and abet robbing myself of everything? What kind of nut bar does that? So every time I've gone and fought for my property, they file criminal charges against me. Or they try one of these 810s. So they did that at the end of August. They're trying to get me with criminal harassment. I'm not criminally harassing anybody. And then, of course, we've got the obstructing. Well, I wasn't obstructing. I was trying to stop you from committing a crime because apparently you all feel that you have qualified immunity. I don't know where that comes from. I don't agree with that. If you harm or cause loss or injury to anyone under any circumstance, you have to be held accountable. Like, Canada can't be going this way, where they just get away with literal, do I dare say, getting away with murder? Because that's basically, when you destroy somebody's property, that's an act of mischief. That's serious. That's why you're not supposed to be doing things like that. And if they weren't there to help me, then they should have just let me alone and let me go. Because they weren't there to help. That's why they're there with the SWAT team. So if you're not here to help me, and clearly you're not here to help me, then you need to listen to what I'm telling you to do. I'm actually the authority in this matter, not you. SWAT team, armed and dangerous, out of your minds. They were out of their minds. I turned the camera off, and good thing I did because I would have lost the live that I showed you. I turned the camera off and I tried to speak to Mike Walsh to let him know that this is why I'm here. I sent you all the documentation. I told you this was going to be a peaceful process. I can't have the neighbors being harmed. We can't commit common nuisance. They all have the right to stay in their homes and have peace at all times when they're in their homes. Jack and I never caused them any disturbance of their peace. But you're here to disturb the peace. That's what you're here to do, and now you're doing it, and I can't have that, so now I need to try to talk you out of what you're doing, because I do happen to be, a reasonable woman. I get what's going on. And so what you didn't see was after the camera got turned off, and they're animals. I'm not joking. There's something wrong with their brains. They surrounded me. They're touching my automobile. They're don't touch her, don't touch her, don't touch me. You're armed with deadly weapons. You've come here with deadly weapons. What are you doing? And now because I can't help you, now you're going to you completely demolish her. There's no way now.
Yeah.
You smashed and why smash in the back passenger? How does that help you get me out?
Right.
There's already a window smashed out behind where I'm sitting. Why didn't you just cut the tape? If you've got deadly weapons, one of you has some sort of little knife here. Well, why didn't you just cut the tape around the plastic and stick your arm in and open the door?
Which of the windows did they smash?
So I'm sitting, obviously, because I've shown up, and then they're there. So right beside me where I'm sitting, they caved, and because she became mine. It was like my first baby. I don't know if you've seen guys with cars, right? That's their baby. That this is, you become emotionally attached. Well, I was 19 when I bought her brand new. And, this is now 30 years later, and she's still purring like a kitten, and she's all I have left. And she has been through everything with me. She's moved me, pregnant with, carrying my baby around with me.
Yeah.
I'm the mother of a forced adopted son, so I deal with that pain and anguish every day as well. And then they came for the house and stole that. They do it by application and title fraud. So the bank solicitors flip the house into the bank's name, and then they just completely take over. And you have no say in what's happening. Like, even though there's a trust there, and you're obviously the power of attorney, they just completely take over. They sell everything, and then they keep all the money, and, like, leave you for dead in the drainage ditch is what they're doing. So, I mean, I'm so attached to my little, I call her my little girl, like, that's what she is. And so, it was the back passenger, like, where the passenger would sit, and there's a back window.
Yeah.
Why are you smashing that one in, too? Like, what's the... You can't get me out through that window.
Right.
So why are you doing that? Oh, because you need to completely demolish something that I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son, my home, and now... That was it. That's all I had left, and now I have nothing. No wonder I'm terrified all the time, and then they're coming back here. I got invited, right? So I'm not sure if you've ever been arrested and criminally charged. I hope that you haven't, because it's awful. And so, I know I'm not, I'm innocent. Like, what are you talking? You fabricated a bunch of information that has nothing to do with my life, and you've gotten one of these public servants impersonating the public. They've now decided to roll with this because you've told them a bunch of lies about me and my character and my life. So that's August the 30th. I get invited back on September the 5th. So September the 4th, I provide them lawful reasons. Like lawful reasons of why I can't help you commit a crime. I can't be there. I object to these proceedings. Like, I can't help you with what you're doing. Like, don't expect me to be there because I'm not going to be there. I wrote it down and I sent it to them. So they know, like, don't expect Victoria to be here because she can't help us aid and abet our crimes. Like, then she's part of the problem instead of being part of the solution. So what do? They don't listen. No, they're not going to listen, right? They issue a warrant. And so then for months, I've got these criminals employed by the District of SAANICH. They're coming back to this door. And they are pounding and harassing and terrifying me. They're torturing me. I've got most of the assaults caught. I've got most of them recorded. They never identify themselves. They stand there for half an hour pounding on the door. That's the crime of common nuisance. Everybody here has the right to have a peaceful, stay. They're trying to get me kicked out because now I don't even have my little car to live in. And I don't have any money because they stole all the money after they, sold the house.
Right.
And so I'm just trying to figure out, this is the epitome of hating somebody. Like, when you go to that level to terrify someone and to just, instead of helping me, they just continually make it worse. Because how did the PC prosecutor, how did they get that information on that paperwork? Well, employees of the District of SAANICH had to have said that. Said that she's criminally harassing. That's a lie. They claimed that she had obstructed and willfully resisted. Well, that's a lie. She's done none of that. And now you just want to continue to traumatize and terrorize this already, devastated, leveled woman.
Right.
And so, where do you go for help? Who do you talk to? What do you do? Lay criminal charges yourself? Because it doesn't look like when you go and talk to anybody about what's happening that they seem to know what to do. We're talking premeditated crimes here. Mike Walsh has been involved multiple times. Nick Murray has been involved. Nick Murray is calling me at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Nick Murray's calling me up and just saying his name. Well, where I come from, that's called criminal harassment. You got a warrant for my... Great. I'm not going to help you with that. You have no basis for assaulting me again. Kidnapping, unlawful confinement. These are all crimes listed in the Criminal Code of Canada. So are they not, like, do they not have to follow any of that? Do they not have to follow the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms? They just don't, they just do what they want when they want to who they want, and they just continue on to get a paycheck and work on a pension? Because I'm having a hard time with all of it, right? There's like a level of rape that goes on inside of a woman who's innocent, who's then, harassed like this. Because I'm not going to tell you lies. Lauren, I don't know you, but I would never do that to you. Like, why? I couldn't make this up if I tried.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I know, I can tell that you're a very truthful person. Obviously, on our end, the only decision we have to make at this point is whether basically what you're alleging falls under the Police Act or not. And so, yeah, no, don't worry. Like, it's not a question of whether I believe what you're saying. I do believe what you're saying, and I believe that you are, you've been seriously impacted, and this has taken a serious toll on you. And so, yeah, no, don't worry about that. I appreciate you explaining all of that. I took some notes as you were talking, and just clarifying that, it's not September 7th. It was within 48 hours of that original incident that Nick Murray then shows up again with the other officers. So I've noted that down, and yeah, I appreciate your time today, Victoria, just clarifying all of that for me.
So when there was a female who was allegedly assaulted by a couple of Central Saanich officers, I think last year, and all of a sudden there's the Vancouver Police Department conducted an investigation. How would they get involved in something of that magnitude? Like, who calls them to get involved in something like that? Because, like, you and I both know that these detachments can't investigate themselves. This is, like, that doesn't make any, like,
right.
Like,
yeah, good question. So sometimes, under the Police Act, the way that the Act is written is that the Home Department does investigate themselves, and so the reason for our office, basically, is to oversee that process, to make sure that there's no corruption that goes on. But under the Police Act, that investigation can be outsourced to other departments. Basically, if our office sees fit, they can make that happen. And so I'm not positive about, I don't know anything about the investigation into that particular matter, but that is how it's kind of set out under the Police Act, that, like, we have the power to make that happen.
Because you don't see that very often, right? Because, I watch very closely because I know that the females who are employed as peace officers in BC have started a class action lawsuit for, like, dare I say, like, sexual harassment, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're being treated, like, it's not right to make somebody feel like that, especially because, like, I'm not a feminist, so then I know that I'm not equal to a man. Like, I'm vulnerable. I've experienced horrible violence myself as a teen, and then again after they stole the house, and I'm having to do things that no woman should ever have to do to survive. And so the fact that they've come together as a group and filed a class action suit against those that they work with, there's a problem. Like, there's a problem with violence against women, and I'm a woman who's coming forward and saying, like, this is, like, outrageous to the standard of decency. Like, this is above and beyond how any, woman or female should be treated and made to feel. Like, I can barely move. Like, physically, I only have energy to just take care of my most basic of needs, and yet this is like a David and Goliath fight. Funny that it's Easter right now.
Right.
And, I'm, like, fighting, and have been for years. Like, I said something to Del Manic when they're stealing the house, before they've actually just kicked me out. Then there's two other Saanich police officers who I explain, the house is being stolen. Yeah, well, we don't care. Like, go talk to the media. Well, they're not paid to be peace officers. Like, they're not paid to stop crime here. Like, do you not realize what's happening because of the skyrocketed housing costs now? It's this is what the thieves are looking for. They're looking for high-ticket items to come and steal from you, and that's how all the money laundering is going on. They're using the real estate industry to launder money. Like, so there's reports everywhere about it. It's not like I'm making it up. Like, because when it's happening to you, you feel like you're going crazy. Like the gaslighting that goes on, right? We're not stealing your house. Well, yeah, you are. Well, we're not going to steal all the money. Well, yeah, you are. Like, what? Why do you keep lying about what you're like? You're not you're not helping me, and I'm not going to go crazy, and I'm not going to kill myself. And I know that's what your goal is, pretty obviously. You know, first my son, now my home, and all the money, and you stole. Well, they stole Jack's car. My spouse, Jack, had a car. They stole that the day they came and stole the house. So there's one automobile gone. And now that was the little Mazda 323 that I've had for over 30 years. My little girl, you know, reliable and trustworthy. Never left me stranded, not once. Like, who can say that about their car?
Right.
She didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve to be treated like that. Like, don't touch her like that. Like, no, I'm not getting out. No, I'm not getting out. You're here to rob me. That's why you're here with a SWAT team. And now you're disturbing all the peace of the neighbors. Like, the neighbors should be questioned as to what they saw and heard. They're parking where they're impeding traffic now. They've made a scene. They've completely embarrassed themselves. And then they did it again in November when they were here inside the building with a SWAT team. What are you doing? You're here with a SWAT team? I'm under 5'4" and I weigh about 110 pounds. I'm not armed. I'm not dangerous. I'm a righteous woman. We just don't roll like that. What are they so terrified of? Is it the truth that terrifies them? Is that what they're terrified of? That you have to come and you've got flashlights and you've got automatic weapons pointed at me? What are you doing? Is this? This is not right. This is like a level of insanity that they clearly are suffering from. And the mocking when they do get me in there, because you know now you're in cuffs. Now you're in a cell, in a cage. You're in a cage with no heat, no water, no proper nutritional food. Like, it's torture. You're being tortured. They're trying to break your spirit. Well, if we do this to her a few more times, maybe she'll kill herself. Well, no, she's not going to do that. So you need to just stop it and take a look at yourselves. You're hypocrites. You're supposed to be fighting crime. I mean, if we go through the BC Police Act, it's basically the common law that they're supposed to be following, and so they are paid to protect life and protect private property. They have never done that for me, not once. Not when my son was kidnapped. They're involved in all of that. Then my spouse and I had a business in Esquimalt. The landlord locked me out after my spouse had passed. $50,000 worth of personal property stolen. I went to Victoria Police Department. Guy at the window's like, well, no, that's a civil matter. And I look at him and I'm like, no, it isn't. You've got a crime being committed here. Like, this is theft over $5,000. This is not a civil matter, but they don't want to help you. They're too busy being lazy. And then here they come for the house. And the same thing. I sent a package of information to Del Manic. I'm like, these are the crimes that are in progress of being committed. Yeah, no, not going to help you. Not going to help you. Then the real estate agent calls up SAANICH Police Department after he had delivered me a letter written by one of the thieves. Victoria, you've got less than 2 weeks to leave your home, and you have no money, and we've stolen all the money, and we're going to steal all the money, but you've got less than 2 weeks to leave this. What's yours? You're the trustee of the property. You're the trustee and the beneficiary. There's a trust in place here. So the real estate agent calls up the SAANICH Police Department and says she's going to kill herself. You better get over there. So they throw up at the door, and like an idiot, I let them in. Well, I know now never to talk to them. I know now never to let them in. Like, you can't have anything to do with them, because anything you say to them, they twist and turn it around on you. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, you're out of here. I'm sectioning you under the Mental Health Act. And I'm like, well, I'm not going. Like, this is Innis. No, what's that? No, that was the bailiff that got me. Francisco Avails is the one. And he's in the house with a female. And I don't get her name, I get his name. And he's like, you're out of here. Like, I'm sectioning it. I'm like, I'm not going. I'm not going with you. I'm not going to kill myself. Like, what are you? I don't need your help. Like, if you're not here to help and you're here to harm, get out of the house. Nope. And if you don't cooperate, I'm going to put you in cuffs. Oh, so now you're uttering threats. Now you're intimidating me and uttering threats. So we went, and you know where we go. Well, we go to the loony bin. He sat there. They took me into a room eventually, right? And I'm being questioned, right? Like, what's going on? What's going on? So I explained the whole thing. Well, I'm being robbed. They're going to steal my house. I spoke to Francisco Avails at length. Like, I don't get belligerent. I'm just like you and I are talking. I can't talk extremely quickly, though, at times, because I'm like overwhelmed all of the time. And so at times I can speak extremely fast. But that doesn't mean like I have mental issues. It just means that I'm so overwhelmed and I have so much to say and no one's listening that it starts to just fall out really quickly. But I explained to this guy, I'm like they're stealing the house. Like, he's like, yeah, no, you should go to the media. And I'm thinking, but you're the guy that's supposed to be like fighting crime. Like, I've just reported a crime to you, and as far as I can tell from the victims, there's a Victims Act. Like, Canada has this Victims Act, and it says that as soon as you report the crime, that they have to start an investigation. Like, it says it right in there. I've read it many times. So when I report the crime, though, somehow, there's no compute. Like, they can't seem to compute what I'm telling them. So then he gets up, Francisco Avails, and he just leaves the room. Like, and it's the middle of the night. I'm cold. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I've just had, I've been fighting with bank solicitors, telling them you can't come and steal the house. Like, this is interest private property. There's no mortgage. We don't owe you anything. We don't have any contract with you. And so Francisco Avails gets up and he just leaves me sitting there. So for the longest time, I'm wondering, like, what do I... There's no beds available. They don't put you, like, in a room. So I have to go... I eventually get up and I go out into the lobby, and everyone in that facility at that time is sleeping in the lobby. Like, there's, I don't know, maybe a dozen or more. Francisco Avails stayed there all night long in the office that's there in the lobby and did nothing. Didn't, like, come and say to me, are you okay? Can I get you anything? Do you need a drink of water? Or are you hungry? Or can I get you a pillow and a blanket? Like, he did not care at all about my health, welfare, or my safety. And then when his shift is over, he's gone. He never speaks to me again after he's kidnapped me and unlawfully confined me. Because if I say no, you're not going to do that to me, and you will continue to do that to me, we've now got you on Criminal Code of Canada offenses. And you're not above the law. There's no statute of limitations on indictable crime in Canada. So then it was a lady, she comes and she's like, well, I'm going to take you, like, I'm going to drive you home. I'll never, ever, ever forget what she said to me. For some reason, when we got to the house, she walked me to the door. She gets out of the car and she walks me to the door and she says to me, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to call us. And I thought to myself, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, why would she say that? Like, like, I'm being robbed here of, like, everything. I'm about to be homeless and destitute. And I've explained it to you multiple times. Like, I feel like it's almost like they want you to go crazy. Like, why would she say that? Right. She was lovely. I'm a highly sensitive, empathic woman, and so I have an ability to read souls. And she wasn't one of the bad. Like, there's a lot of bad apples that they hire, like Nick Murray. Nick Murray, bad apples. Right. That one should not ever be a public servant. Like, there's something seriously wrong. Like, that thing is wired wicked, and it don't understand nothing. Like, that guy has criminally harassed. I had to block the number because he's calling at all hours of the night. Like, why are you doing that? Oh, because you want to terrify me and torture me? You need to call me at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning? Yeah, and you're not listening? Like I told you, no? You got a warrant? You're not going to execute that warrant. You're not going to continue to commit these crimes against me. Like, I have the right to say no. You do need my consent. You do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do need my consent to make a move on me. They do. They need your consent. That's the way it works in Canada, right?
Yeah.
They need your consent.
Okay, thank you for explaining all of that, Victoria. I'm sorry, I just have to step into a 3:30 meeting, so I have to leave things there with us for today. But I've been taking notes as you've been explaining sort of the lead up in the background on all of it. So I really appreciate your time and effort and delving back into all of this. I know that is like re-traumatizing, and so I just appreciate your time today, and yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, Lauren. It's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you as well, Victoria. Okay, bye for now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Did you catch how I was talking? So we have a very particular way of communication, especially when we're overwhelmed and completely and utterly traumatized, terrorized. So how the INFJ testifies. So pre-story prologue for context, and then we start the story, and then too many details, and then semi-related side story, and then wait, okay, back to the main story, and then something I just now remembered, lose train of thought, what was I talking about, realize I've been talking too long, wrap story up, and finally get to the point, end of the story, and then most of the time there's usually an apology. I didn't create this meme, by the way. But when I saw it, I was like, oh no, they're reading our mail. How do they know this? It's shocking. Okay, here. I can't hear these. I think it was this one. I caught him. Well, I really hope that recorded and you could actually hear, because when the recorder's not on, I realized after I did the last upload that I had the wrong very short clip of what went on. So I'm hoping that that's the right one and that we can all hear that thing at the door assaulting me again.